Hello and welcome to Quick News Questions with the Cadillac News. My name is Kinsey from the Digital Media Production class at the Wexford-Missaukee Career Tech Center. I'm joined by Chris Lamphere from the Cadillac News.
Hi.
So, Mr. Lamphere, we had a lot of interesting stories this week in the paper. So our first question is for Veterans Day stories. There were a lot of schools who held Veterans Day ceremonies. How do you determine which ones to cover and which ones not to cover?
Well, we try to cover them all, but a lot of them happen at the same time. So it's like a logistical thing. We always try to make sure we hit the Cadillac one because that's the biggest school district in the area. The other ones is just based on when reporters, if they're around to do it. Like, for instance, I can't work in the morning on that day, but I was able to cover one of the ones in the afternoon. And we just got to kind of pick and choose our spots like that because they're all important. It's just a matter of which ones we can get to.
Do they all get like kind of separate stories, or do you kind of blend them all into one?
It just depends. Some years we've done it like a roundup. I think this year we did them as separate stories. So it just depends on what else we have going on in the paper that day.
So on Wednesday, we talked about cyber attacks. Exactly how is this affecting things at the courthouse?
Well, their phones are down and their computer network is down, which means that they can't conduct business that they normally would over the internet. They can do most of the stuff in person, though. Like it depends from department to department on what they can and can't do, but most essential things or all essential things they can still do face-to-face.
Okay, so what exactly kind of got hacked? Was anything specific or?
It was a ransomware attack, I understand, and I'm not a tech person, so I don't know exactly what the mechanics are there, but I know it knocked out their system, their network. I don't know exactly what part of the network it would have to target in order to achieve that, but that was the end result.
Crazy. We also talked about on Wednesday the Cadillac 4 movie theater. Can the public get a chance to tour this theater and see some of the things in the story?
It's still a working theater, so they do a lot of work in those areas still, so the employees are back there in those old parts. So it's not like you can go on regular tours, but I know Richard Schultz does tours as part of his side project, his company. So if someone's interested in it, maybe reach out to him.
Yeah, no, I really liked the story, actually. I went and read it on my own, and there was this part about how the manager of the theater got arrested for holding movie times on Sundays. I thought that was a cool story.
Yeah. It shows how much things have changed over the years.
What was your favorite story from this week?
Well, there was a couple. I really like the Veterans Day stuff. It's fun to read, and it's important to see how communities are still honoring veterans on Veterans Day, and in different ways they're honoring them. The notice about the lead pipes issues in Cadillac is important too, because it's important for people to know what's in their water and if they should have concerns about what's in their water and what they're drinking. And then the other one is the theater story. I like working on that one, and I'm really interested in history.
What can we expect to see for next week?
Well, next week I'm working on a story about the impact that grocery stores have on communities and what happens in a community when they don't have a grocery store.
Okay.
I'm also working on another story about PFAS and the effect that it has on the human body.
Yeah, we've talked about PFAS a lot.
Yeah, it's an important issue.
Yeah. So does the grocery store kind of have to do with the Marion story that we read?
That was how they got the idea.
Okay, that's cool. So I thought I edited the Quick News update for that story, and I thought it was kind of interesting that they've never had a grocery store before.
Yeah, and like people around there really affects them, because they have to travel for simple groceries. They'd have to travel 20, 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
That makes a big impact on their day.
Yeah. Okay, well, we look forward to your stories, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was the Cadillac Quick News Update with Kinsey and Chris Lamphere. We hope to see you next week.